We're having a national conversation at the moment that's including truth-telling and treaty making. The Uluru Statement from the Heart calls for voice, treaty, truth in that order. You were there for that summit at Uluru in 2017. What was your experience?
Well, that was how it came out in the document. That was not my recollection of the way it should have been presented to government or to the Aboriginal community nationally.
There was a very strong agreement on treaties that are respectful for all of the different mobs.
The view was that treaty was the prime thing that was coming out of Uluru that all the delegates wanted. The majority of delegates wanted treaty first, with truth-telling advising how treaty would happen, and then out of that comes the voice. If you have a voice that, under the government position now, has no power, then I ask you, what is the value of a voice?
Well, the advocates would say that it can make those representations and that they would need to be listened to. Is that the kind of forcefulness that you think is needed?
No. No, of course not. The current arrangement of that voice is to simply be this meek little thing that says, I want A, B, C. And the government says, fine, and that's it.
Have you decided how you're going to vote?
Pretty much. I certainly, under no circumstances, will vote no. I will not be party to the crap that Dutton and the National Party are coming out with currently. But I can't vote yes, because I don't think that the government of the day and the supporters of the yes vote have explained to people like me enough to convince me that is the right way to go. And I'm also beholden to the fact that I chaired the regional dialogue here in Tasmania, and that dialogue was adamant that it was treaty first, with truth-telling, then maybe a voice. So I won't vote no, but I'm not voting yes. I think I'm going to do that little thing of putting a little box under the box that's going to be there, ticking that and saying treaty now, treaty first.
Is there the risk, though, that essentially if that was a donkey vote, that is essentially a no vote?
No, it's not. No. No. People say that to me, but I'm not saying no to the voice. What I'm saying is no to the current impression of what that voice would be.
I guess there can't be a sense, can there, that if you vote no or write an extra box onto the ballot paper, that will deliberately lead to a treaty, though?
No. No, you're quite right. We don't know whether doing that type of thing would lead to a treaty, but I'd ask you to cast your minds back to the Franklin River debate when Tasmania held a referendum type thing over the 2 dams they wanted to build. Now, there were 2 boxes, and the Greens of the day put up a solid campaign of saying no dams, to actually put a 3rd box in and just write next to it no dams. 31% said no dams, and in the end, there were no dams. There was building up a reflection of what the population truly thought. It's the same with the voice. I don't want to say yes to a voice, but I don't want to say no to a voice without a treaty being reflected. The treaty, as I've said before, is where we should be heading.